All right, everybody, this is section 3.6 of Influencer Marketing Academy. Now, this section may not be for everyone, but personally, I find this as a very, very important idea and tool to use while using influencer marketing. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a neat freak. I like to have my business organized and records kept of what has been going on in my business so that I can really get a better idea of how certain campaigns and whatnot we're doing. So, this is where I want to talk about keeping records. This section may not be for everybody, but this is a great way to stay organized and definitely make sure that you know what you're getting out of each campaign when you're utilizing these influencers. And also a very good way to make sure if you want to be reusing these influencers and just knowing which ones are better tailored around your products in store. So, how to compare and contrast these influencers? We're going to create a spreadsheet. Now, this could be in Excel or Numbers. This is just whichever you prefer. And now we're going to create the spreadsheet. And for the columns, we're going to go with a follower count and an engagement count. So we're going to take their average likes and comments, add them together from every post, maybe take like their three most recent ones, or throw in a couple of promotions in there as well, just so we have a greater idea for not only regular posts, but promoted posts as well. And keep an eye on them. And we're going to do a average likes and comments. So we're going to add those two together and divide by their follower count, and we're going to get a ratio of exactly what their engagement is like compared to their follower count, because followers is not everything if their followers are not engaging with what they have to offer. If someone has 100,000 followers and gets 500 likes or 500 likes and comments put together on a very single post, that is really, really poor by way of engagement. But if they have 100,000 followers and they're getting 20,000 likes and maybe 5,000 comments on a single post, then they're clearly doing something right and clearly doing something very well and have a very active audience. Because if you're putting your product in front of 100,000 followers that are not active and engaging with this influencer, there's really no point of doing it at all. So we're also going to put down their quoted price. So let's say we have reached out to this influencer already and they said, I can give you a featured post for 3 hours for $100, for example. So we're going to put that down into our spreadsheet so that we can compare exactly what kind of engagement, price, and follower count we're going to be getting from each and every influencer, so we could really see the margins between them and exactly what the difference is between one another. So this is before you're choosing an influencer and you're creating a spreadsheet comparing which ones are your prospective influencers. And now this is for recording your work. Now this is going to be a completely separate spreadsheet that I recommend that you keep, which is going to be from influencers that you have used and from featured posts and campaigns that you have used through each of these influencers. So this is a great way to do split testing as well, such as different ways of wording your copy or different ways that your influencers are wording their copy. Sometimes you can have control over what these influencers are going to be saying about your product. Sometimes you really don't. But if it is in your control, this is something that you could split test. If you're not familiar with what split testing is, it is creating two of very similar campaigns, but doing a little bit of a change on another, whether it's a visual or it is something that is in the caption of the picture or the advertisement copywriting, like pretty much what is written about this post, and seeing which one is converting better. So that is a good way to get an idea of what's working and what isn't working with your marketing techniques. And now we're going to keep this spreadsheet for the influencers used, and we're going to check on the engagement by the end of the post. So let's say that your influencer did set up this deal for you, $100 for 3 hours of your featured post on their page. That's just an example. I would personally keep my post up longer than 3 hours. But anyways, going on, we're going to also record the pricing that we paid, the followers gained from the time that you started this post to the end, and your site visitors. Shopify does offer a site visitor count, and also you want to keep track of the sales that you've made since that post. Well, sorry, during that post period, because they are going to take down that post, and sales after that most likely aren't going to be directly related to that influencer, although they very well could be if the influencer's traffic that was sent was a gained follower that then became a future sale, but we can't really track those. So we're going to see exactly which influencers were working well for us and which campaigns were most successful because then we know which influencers are the right ones to go back to, maybe ones that are related to them. And this is another good way to keep track of what went on with your campaigns rather than keeping these random ballpark estimates and really not enough clarity of what was successful and what was not successful within your campaigns. So if you guys want to take notes and take screenshots, go back in the video, I highly suggest that you do, because this is something that I think is super valuable, because staying organized is going to help you get a greater idea of what's going on inside of your business with all of these different activities going on at once. It's hard to keep track of everything. So this is a very good way to stay organized, and I hope you guys utilize it because it helps me keep all of my influencers on track and make sure I know which ones are succeeding and which campaigns are not succeeding.